you know, I make boom bap. So there's like 100 artists that I could do type beats for, right? I only actually use 2 or 3. Nas type beat, Joey Bass type beat. I don't really go outside of that. The reason is because I think that helps massively. YouTube sees you uploading beat after beat with the same keywords, and they'll rank you up for that.
So what is new with the beat selling? Because, you know, as time goes on, it seems as though
it changes, man.
It changes, but more and more people are dropping out of the game. More and more people are joining, and so that you have this push and pull of the narrative of, you know, it's oversaturated, no one can make it, to I just made it.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a very accurate description. I mean, there's I'm seeing on my Twitter timeline. I'm pretty active on Twitter, and I'm seeing like producers that I really fuck with saying I quit, and I'm like, man, you know. But you know, on the other hand, I'm hearing a lot of other dope producers come out of nowhere that are obviously selling a lot of beats. So it's kind of a mix of 2 worlds, where there's a bunch of people that think this isn't working, but there's also a bunch of people that are like, holy shit, I'm making shit tons of money out of nowhere. So I think, you know, the narrative for me is like, you've just got to keep searching around for how to do it yourself. Like, there isn't one way to do this. Like, Cash Money AP makes thousands on YouTube. There's other people that do it on Facebook. Tone Jones started his whole operation on SoundCloud. You know, there's a bunch of dudes that came up on SoundClick. So it's like, there isn't one way to do it, but I think a reason a lot of people quit is because they don't try enough different methods until they find the one that works for them. You know, even IG, there's dudes that only sell beats on IG. So it's like, there's a million ways to do this. But there is money in this. Like, it's definitely not a myth. So it's just a shame to see, you know, so many people dropping out.
Yeah, well, I think the real shame is that when people drop out, they don't do it quietly. You know, when they drop out, they it's like they want to discourage others and say, look, it didn't work for me, it's not going to work for you. The beats, you know, online beat licensing is dead. Right. Everybody bear witness to what I'm telling you. And certain people have influence, and when they say that, it does affect other people's life.
Absolutely, man. And I think to add to that as well, I think a lot of people drop out, and perhaps they drop out for the reasons that they're not having much success, but maybe their beats aren't quite as good as the other stuff that's being sold on the market as well. So a lot of people put it down to the market's slow, or it's too, there's too many producers on there, but very little people that quit actually listen to their own beats and go, all right, maybe I actually just need to sit down and work on my craft. Because trust me, if your beats are good enough, like, it doesn't matter how many people are selling beats. Like, if your beats are really that dope, they'll sell. It doesn't matter if there's 1 billion people online selling beats. If you really sit down and work on your shit every day, they'll sell. People buy them because there's lots of artists looking for beats. So I think maybe with the market being so oversaturated, what's actually happening is the standard, in my opinion, I think the standard of the producers that are leasing beats is going up. Like, you know, if I go on the BeatStars chart, or the Airbit chart or whatever, you know, the beats that I'm hearing nowadays, man, I've got to say, like, that shit inspires me. Like, I always hear dope shit all the time. So I think that's the other thing. Like, there's a lot of people that were really successful a few years ago, but never wanted to level up their beats, whereas everyone else has leveled up and they've stayed there and, you know, haven't worked on it as much as they wanted to, and things have become stagnant. So this isn't all about marketing. Like, this game is definitely not all about marketing. It's also about having dope beats.
Yeah, I do think people lose sight of that. And you know, the other thing, and shout out to all the members of a beat club too, because they put themselves out there. We have beat critique sessions every month, and so that's one of those. And it's a nerve-wracking experience. I get nervous playing beats in front of other producers all the time.
So do I, dude. Like, I still get nervous when I upload new beats. Like, legit. Like, I'm like, are people gonna fuck with this or not? Like, but I think when you lose that, like, little bit of nerves that you have, when you lose that, I think you kind of lose your edge a bit. Like, when you stop caring if people fuck with your music or not, like, I think you lose something. So those nerves or I would prefer to call them butterflies, like, are super important to have, because I think that keeps you on your toes.
And I hear from producers all the time who are frustrated with the market. They'll contact me and say, I 100% know my beats are hits. I 100% know I have the best beats. Why aren't they selling? What's going on? And I think we can't know that. How do we know that? That if they're not selling, I think,
yeah, and it's funny, and I'm sure everyone here has heard this a million times, but like, the beats that you think are gonna be hits aren't hits, and the beats you think are gonna flop are hits. Like, and that's kind of true, or at least in my experience. But I think the important thing to do is, like, try not to judge your own beats too much. Like, make sure the mixes are solid. Make sure everything is melodically in tune, which is a basic fundamental. And then after that, you can start breaking the rules a bit. But after you've got the basics down, and you start exploring different sounds, like, you need to be quick to figure out what's selling for you and what's not. I think that's key. It's figuring out of the last batch of beats that I uploaded, which one sold, which one didn't. And then you listen to it and you try to figure out, why did this sell over the other ones? And then you take that information and you try as best as you can, without copying the beat, obviously, but style-wise, genre-wise, going into the next batch, what can I do that kind of catches the flavor of that beat that everyone fucked with? Like, what can I do and bring into the next batch? So I think it's important to really look at the stats. What beats are getting more plays? What even likes? If you upload something to YouTube, and I know you upload to the YouTube sort of every couple of days, Payne, and I try to as well. Like, you have direct info as to what people are fucking with and what they're not. I mean, on YouTube, it's like clear as day. At least on my channel. Like, I know if I drop something that's not as dope as the other shit, like, I know about it because people tell me. So it's important to know, out of the beats you've done in the past, what were people fucking with and what they weren't, and then use that info to go forward instead of just uploading beats, willy-nilly, or however you want to say it.
Yeah, I mean, all the top selling producers that I've spoken to. So, for example, I think this happened in the Taylor King interview, and he's always on the BeatStars charts. He said that once he started switching up his style, or when he would drop a beat that was really different from what his normal style was, his engagement would drop way down. And I think there's really something to that. But before he got to the point of understanding that, he had to know what his standard was, in terms of quality, in terms of style, and what his supporters and his customers fell in love with. And just, but obviously it's frustrating, because you drop a track and you think you're doing something different. It's this stylistically exciting journey for you, and the people don't respond well to it. But every artist goes through that, and I think that's just part of the game. So you can have a moment like that every now and then.
I think you can still do it as much as you want. You can still experiment as much as you want, but you can experiment whilst giving your clients the stuff they've always wanted from you. So if I do let's say I do a batch of 10 beats, right? I need to make sure 5, 6, 7 of those beats are what my clients know me for. And then the other 3 can be experimental as I want them to be, because I've made sure that these guys are getting their fix of what they hit me up for. and then they're cool with whatever else I want to do. And the interesting thing is, what I find with the experimental stuff that's out of genre for whatever genre you're in, is you will find someone that loves that beat. You'll still find someone. It won't be a mass stellar, but you'll find like someone that will buy an unlimited license, and then you'll look at the PayPal notification, you'll be like, holy shit, man, someone actually fucked with that beat. And it will only be one or two, but it still adds to the numbers. So I think, like, to piggyback off what you were saying, I think you definitely got to stay in your lane sound wise. But if you do, then you can afford to upload with that batch more experimental stuff. But I think we can actually use this conversation to go on to another super bit of information, which I was actually thinking about before this, is YouTube. And this is something that we've spoken about a lot, Payne, is YouTube keywords, and how if you hammer the same keyword over and over, actually helps you. Rather than, let's say if I make hip hop beats, right? If I was gonna make, I make boom bap, so there's like 100 artists that I could do type beats for, right? I only actually use 2 or 3. Nas type beat, Joey Badass type beat. I don't really go outside of that. The reason is because I think that helps massively. YouTube sees you uploading beat after beat with the same keywords, and that helps YouTube know that this guy is serious about this keyword. Like, this guy isn't uploading just one video with this keyword out of 10, like 8 out of 10 are in this keyword. So he's probably legit with this keyword. They'll rank you up for that. I mean, that's the simplest way to describe it. But I think that's like that's sort of a micro way of looking at it with YouTube. But if you look at it as a bigger spectrum thing, like, that's also how your clients see it as well. Like, clients will hit you up because they fuck with Joey Badass type beats, and they only want Joey Badass type beats. And guess who is the producer that does Joey Badass type beats? Boom, they're gonna hit you up and you'll get known for it. So I think for a lot of guys that are trying to start out and they're on YouTube and they're trying to figure out how they can get up the rankings, literally pick 1 or 2 keywords. And I'm talking an artist, whether that be a Nas type beat or J. Cole type beat, and that's it. Don't go outside of it. Don't upload anything outside of those 2 keywords. And I promise you, you will start to see a difference in your rankings, but you'll also see people start to flock to you that are in tune to your sound. Like, you don't have to change your sound to what the masses want. Rather, you have to be consistent in what you upload with your sound to find the people that want it. And I think that's, like, right now in the game, because it's so saturated, I think that's like one of the main gems. And that's what I've stuck to for the last few years, and it's really, really helped me a lot.
I mean, I think all the producers, if we're just gonna sit here and brainstorm, I think all the producers that have continued to ride this upward trajectory for their sales, for their engagement, they've all done that. I mean, we know the Cash Money AP story. If you search J. Cole type beat, we know who's gonna come.
Yeah,
it's gonna be on, and you're not gonna see Yondo try to step on Cash Money AP's territory and make a Young Thug type beat. You're not gonna see Cash Money AP try to step on J. Group's territory and try to make a Daniel Caesar type beat.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason for that. There's so many examples. Literally, like, if you go to the BeatStars top chart now, like, all the stuff that's charting, and this is just how the game is right now, all the stuff that is charting is a high ranking type beat for a specific artist from a producer that always uploads those types of beats. It's as simple as that. And, I can say that without actually checking it, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Here's something interesting, and I'm not gonna put this out publicly. I think I'm gonna cut the public clip right here. And all the rest is private, because what I'm about to say, I don't know if I can say publicly, but I'm gonna say it here. And this is something that somebody from an actual